Now, from the very beginning of the video, I want to establish that I have absolutely no problem with Pearlman. As a matter of fact, this man is the reason why I'm here today. You see, back in the day, I binged the Penguin Magic videos from the mid-2000s, and I was obsessed with everything that man produced. And because of him, I'm here showing you how to do card tricks and various bits of virginity. And also the mere fact that we have somebody who is in public eye, Pearlman, especially being a very talented mentalist, it's a wonderful thing for the rest of us. But this video is going to be about his appearance on 60 Minutes and why I personally think that journalists are the most retarded people on the planet. I miss the days of Walter Cronkite, even someone like Larry King back when he cared, gave a fuck. So we have Pearlman that appeared as a profile piece on the television program 60 Minutes. Also, as much as I hate to dog on this journalist because she is 10 out of 10, I would dog this
25 hours a day, 9 days a week.
King Arthur couldn't pull me out of her. But the questions asked are absolutely unbelievable.
Right now, the mentalist on people's minds, and going viral for it, is a 43-year-old father of 5 named Pearlman.
Another interesting tidbit here is that you still have hope. Pearlman has produced 5 kids, so you have no excuse.
Oz is the first to admit his act is based on one big lie.
The lie is that I can read your mind.
You're sitting here today telling me you're not mind reading.
That's correct.
Why does she say that like it's a gotcha? She says it like she's unraveling some secret code. Am I the asshole? But of course it's based on lies. It's a magic trick. It's an open farce. We've been doing this for way too long.
I guess a lot of things such as numbers, such as words, such as names, things that have seemingly an infinite amount of possibilities, but do they? No. I've figured out how to kind of take a piece of information that seems too impossible, I can build up in a big way and create a lot more of a limited subset than you think.
Is it deception?
Now, I would personally melt if this particular journalist ever looked at me in that capacity and pointed and said absolutely anything. She could be talking about her bowel movements and I would fold. But of course it's deception. Of course it's a lie. It's all magic tricks. Why are we doing this?
Critics out there who have accused you of wearing a fake thumb to be able to secretly write something.
Sure.
You're laughing. To go so far as to have someone on your team follow someone like a Joe Rogan around so that you could secretly see his ATM code before you sat down face to face.
I love that.
How about you give me a yes or no that's actually not true or false, first of all?
I can't answer every single one, but man, if you think that I followed Joe Rogan around to get his ATM PIN code, I love that answer. But no, I did not follow Joe Rogan around.
I find it immediately funny that Pearlman negates following Joe Rogan to try to find what his PIN number is. However, doesn't negate the use of the thumb and the writer. But what bothers me the most, enough to make a video here with the worst white balance in the history of videography, is why? What person at 60 Minutes came up with the concept of interviewing a magician and asking him if what he does is real? Do these people think that David Copperfield has the ability to actually fly? Do you think that he has the ability to push through the Great Wall of China?
The real estate empire he's built up in his audience's mind is the result of thousands of hours of repetition in front of a mirror and more than 30 years of an obsession with his craft.
And that only highlights my point even more, because I would understand if maybe the only knowledge you had of Pearlman was that he was this mentalist that reads minds. You see him on Joe Rogan, you see him on all these podcasts, but they know that the man has been teaching magic for the better part of 30 years. So why have the entire premise of your news report be on whether or not what he's doing is real when you already know that this man is deceptive by the very nature of the craft that he partakes in? Now, you would think this is only limited to people like journalists and Jabrizi. However, not really. The retardation goes to the comments section. Just look at these comments of people that think somehow he's incorporating the use of demonic powers to read minds. Mentalism is the art of peeking at information and then being able to regurgitate it to your audience in a way that makes you look like you didn't peek at the information. And I would understand again if we lived in the Stone Age, but we live in the information age, baby. Again, it's wonderful that people like Pearlman, who deserve it, are getting highlighted on a national and I would say even international forum. However, the entire premise of the news report is retarded. And you would think it only happens with people that don't necessarily know about our craft. But no, it happens within our craft as well. Look at this Facebook post of an individual talking about an article written about a stage show. Of course, it's the age-old question of whether or not exposure on YouTube is good for the art and whatnot. But this guy is talking about an individual who is now skeptical of a magic show because of exposure videos online. Skeptical about what? It's a magic show. What do you think it is? Real? What do you think? That I could clench something in my asshole and immediately be able to float? What do you guys think? Leave your comments, concerns, and messages down in the comments section down below, and make sure to do all the things that people do when it comes to videos. You like it, you subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of this awful content, and then you look at my Patreon where I have the PigCake Magic Academy, the home of over 1,700 videos teaching you how you could be a magician and a mentalist and all the fun things.